Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Grade A Power Plays here on the Grade A Fantasy channel. I'm your boy, Grade A Fantasy. Let's get into today's picks, but before we do that, let's review what happened last night. Like I said, I think I spoke highly about how I was down on the top line, and it was the middle six, but it was really the top three. Got some Lancome, McTavish power play points. Sam Colangelo had a great game, started off with his one-off and had other points. I knew San Jose would have been able to get something. The only thing that lined up was Wenberg and Eklund. Gunther, Cooley, once again, I was happy to get that. Happy to get those guys. Lane Hudson, 2 assists, was a big, galaxy brain kind of pick. And then, of course, the whole Montreal line. Great game by Montreal. That was an amazing game last night. And some power play points on the Washington side. And also got the Strome Protas point, with Protas by himself at plus 126. Let's get into today's games. So, I'd like to mention the Washington-Carolina game, which should be interesting. Not really sure what I want to take from there. Literally, I mean, it doesn't seem to be the same Carolina team, but if you haven't been paying attention, all of March, because they didn't play yesterday, all of March, they lost 3 times. That top line of Aho, Blake, and Jarvis, obviously the prices are different, but Washington not the most elite defensively. Obviously they had a tight game with Boston last night, but disguises Washington is the fact that yes, with the right free agents they've done well, but they're also a team that can be lethargic. Plus any line with Ovechkin is not going to be good defensively. So obviously, you already know how that goes when a team goes into Carolina. If it goes right, the top line will shut down. It'll be up to the second line of probably Strome, Protas. The lineups did well, so most likely when you win, they're going to stay in the same formation. So it'll probably be Protas. It'll be Dubois with Ovechkin up top with Wilson, and it'll probably be Protas and Strome again. But most likely it'll be the Ovechkin line seeing that third line, and then that second line seeing the Aho line. I think the Aho line right now, if I'm not mistaken, if you get them all together, you can still get, if you do the trip side lineup instead of a couple, because the value isn't that strong right now. Aho and Jarvis by itself it's close to even money. So if you add Blake to that, then yeah, you're looking at like plus 188. So almost a plus 190 with the entire top line. That top line has been going well, but it's not a good power play on either side. Washington doesn't commit that many penalties. Solid penalty kill. Carolina is the best penalty kill in the game, or the second best penalty kill in the game, and they're in the bottom 5 of minutes given up. So won't be taking any power play props here. If anything, it will be combination of that top line. And if you think they can attack that goalie, then you go for 2 points with there. But that game is more of a pass. The 2 games that I'm focusing on, one, we'll get right into where you saw the bets. We're going against third in penalty minutes, 728, 80% penalty kill, but Florida back-to-back did shut down Montreal's power play, but this is not Montreal's power play. Toronto's a top 5 power play in the rankings of Winnipeg and Detroit. So power play points galore. Barkov did have a minor injury, but he did come back to finish. So as of right now, he is set to play. So obviously all these power play points are worth a sniff. In the 2 games that they've played against each other, the power play advantage does go to Florida. 4 power plays to 1. So definitely expect a power play from either one of these teams at least today. Sam Miskevich plus 320, Seth Jones plus 320, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, taking the top value stuff. I don't really think I took anything else from here. Now, I still did Sam Miskevich for plus 114 just by himself, just for the hell of it. But normally I would do Bennett and Sam Miskevich. They have correlation on the power play. They ended the game, however. Rodriguez got to the second line to the right side, moving Marchand to the left side of the line too. Sam Miskevich got placed all the way on the bottom line, playing with no second AJ Greer. So they still keep Sam Miskevich on the power play. So with Toronto's suspect penalty kill, I still like Sam Miskevich for plus 114. Plus I have him for a power play point. Depends on what the lines are. If I decide to grab the good old Bennett Saviskevich combo, But right now, that's not the. We're gonna have to wait till skate time. They did not finish the game with that lineup. Maybe they go back. Who knows? But it's something to monitor. It's a stack that's worth putting up there just in case. But when I did put it up there, Ben and Sam Miskevich going against line 2, and they avoid the Matthews line. They're gonna get the second and third line matchups, plus 197. So hopefully we find out what that lineup is gonna be at a good time, because that's a great price for a second line pair. Once again, another second line pair that has been pretty consistent. 197 if they're combined. So just keep an eye out for that, because that's a pretty good price for two people. 197. Other than that, besides that, and on the other set, like I said, the fifth ranked power play versus the third most ranked penalty minutes. You also have their 18th in minutes, but like I said, a sub 80 penalty kill. The power plays are definitely something that can happen. I definitely feel confident about that. Other than that, if there's anything else that I would like to take, I don't know if I did do it, or maybe I did think about it. Let me go back to NHL. Besides typical things like maybe, I don't know, Seth Jones assists and stuff like that, I do have bets, but most of them are power plays. Another one that I do like, see, I did see that, and then I saw that I already had that ready. So it might still be 190. It was still plus 197 when I did that, but then I saw the lineup, so I was able to get the money back. So you're gonna have to watch for that, because that is good value for a solid two-pair combination. But Florida, this is what, game 3, and they still got one more. I think next week they play again. If there's one thing that I do like, I think Seth Jones is still plus in points. Yes, he's still plus 122. Quarterback in the power play is interesting. Also, obviously, him being who he is in the situation that he's in, Seth Jones is plus 164, solo for an assist. I think at the moment it's still plus money. Tavares and Nylander is just at plus. Oh, this went up, because this is like plus 102, so maybe this continues to improve. Nylander and Tavares, I think they do have a pair of points each in both games from earlier. But the interesting one here, in both games, which was one early in the season, one about a couple of weeks ago, shots on goal props in this one. And there's one that I'm going to be focusing on. In both games, one in November, I think post-Thanksgiving break, and one, like I said, about 2 weeks ago. On the power play, same stat, over 2.5. So this moved. So when I was looking at, I didn't take it yet. This moved. They're allowing you to go with Nylander, I think up to 5 maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and then at 6 they only have Austin Matthews. So if you want to take a shot at that, I do like it. In both games, Nylander, 6 shots on goal, 3 misses. The exact same stats. And he's part of scores. Him and the second line has done very well in this season series, even though the Panthers have won both games. But when it comes to any type of generation, it's coming from the second line. So to finish this prop at the 7 o'clock game, before I still have a whole bunch of time to think about the Seattle-Vancouver game, what I'm thinking about next, I do like first to take the over 2.5 prop. I'm going to take this now, because when I was doing my homework, this was minus 118, minus 125, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe it moved a couple times. That's why I remember those numbers. So to start the ladder, minus 132, 2.5 over. And then to get the 4 shots, Nylander's plus 198. To get the 5 shots, plus 470. I definitely like that right there. That's the shot ladder for today that I'll be taking. So I'll be fully loaded on that. Not fully loaded, but I got some props. Like I said, sprinkle some power play, and I'm just waiting for another pair. That's pretty much it. Other than that, might take Tavares, Nylander, and Sam Miskevich. Bennett and Sam Miskevich is back on their line. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, not the prettiest slate, but I know I was able to find at least a couple of things here to make worth my while. And then I think that is it for that game. Yes, we'll go to the nightcap. Seattle, Vancouver. What's interesting about this game, every game this season has gone over the betting total. First game, post-Christmas break, 9 goals, 5-4 Kraken. They played 4 days later, right after New Year's, 4-3 Canucks. That's 7 goals. And then earlier last month, basically the first day of March, 6 post, JT Miller being gone and so on and so forth. 6-3 at home, Kraken. This is the season series. This is the end of the season series, so the Canucks look to even it up 2-2. They'll be at home. Early stuff that I like here. Nothing confirmed yet, obviously, and these scores have gone regardless. Whoever the goalie is, like I said, you had a hurt Thatcher Demko. You have Kevin Lankinen on the Seattle side. You've had Joey Daccord. You have Philip Grubauer. It really doesn't matter. It just doesn't seem to matter. I mean, it seems like there could be potential ruckus here. It's just a case of where the line combos get into. But the one thing that I did like to see, I have a mini point ladder. Vince Dunn against this team has 7 points in 3 games, all multi-point games. It's not like he had a whole bunch in one game and then had none. No, in the first game he had 3 and then had 2 and 2 in the next 2, scoring and assisting. So I was curious about Vince Dunn, plus 630, plus 122. Then on top of that, I got to take Montour. Montour generates. On top of that, I like to take his prop. He has about 3 or 4 points so far this season against the series. Kiefer Sherwood, he scored the most points in the last 10 games, so why not keep that going? Him by himself is plus 136 at the moment. Brandon Montour, over 2.5 is plus 126. So I'm definitely taking that. Not really interested in the shot ladder. Only one game did he get to 4. Other games he got to 3 with a couple misses. One game he got to 4 in a miss. But when it comes to combinations in this game, what do I like here? Canucks are at home, so I'm definitely going to like the new version of the top line. No Elias Pettersson. So great odds here. Once you see Bessa at 146 and his center, plus the line is fully correlated, you have to take that. Plus I like the way Jake DeBrusk has been shooting the puck lately too. So more than likely they're going to get top line or maybe the third line or whatever the case may be. Just waiting for line combinations just in case they do switch things out. Because like I said, they do activate. Because the one thing I do with this team, I do pick them a lot. And they do have some talented people. And sometimes they bounce back and forth by picking or activating Nils Hoglander to the team, to the active roster. So they do like to switch those things in and out. We all know Elias Pettersson is hurt, so there's no need to worry about that. I have to take a look because their lines are confirmed. Vancouver's lines are set. It's just a case of, so these guys were out, but this is what I'm saying. They have the top 4. So Joshua, Ratti, Sherwood on the bottom, DeBrusk, Suter, Besser, Bluger, Connor, Garland. Well, optionally, they had him there because he was healthy enough to skate. Hoglander was there. So you don't know if he's going to move up into one of these lines because Hoglander could be on the 4th. Hoglander could be on the top line. He could be on the second line. He's kind of a utility guy. So this is one of those that practice was yesterday. But these aren't confirmed lines, especially when you see the extra skater. So you just don't know where Hoglander is going to be. So, but when it comes to that top line, I'm pretty sure that top line stays together. Besser, Suter, plus 138. If you go Suter, DeBrusk, you're probably getting close to just about right under there, 150. That whole line combo together is 237. And then as you go lower, I don't think they have. Do they have Teddy Bluger here? Because if he is, he's Connor Garland's center. I doubt it though. No, they don't have that there. And there's a bunch of other one-offs. So after the top line that's there together, obviously you got Quinn Hughes. Connor Garland by himself is a plus 100. He has about 6 points in the last 10 games. Philip Hronik, I like Hronik more, even though he has the capability to assist on the second line goals. But Hronik is more of a play when Quinn Hughes is not there. He's more of a utility guy and puck mover. Like I said, you know what Kiefer Sherwood could do. And then when we look at the Seattle side, like I said, there's a lot of plus money on these lines. Like literally after you get through the first 4 guys, everything else is plus money from plus 100 up. That's why the opportunity is there. But like I said, this is not a day that I'm going to go crazy. I just see some opportunity, especially in that Toronto game, to get some power plays and some stacks there. Seattle definitely hasn't had no morning skate as of yet. But before I end this video, to wrap it up short, I mean, it's somewhat of a decent, decent defensive matchup. But like I said, it all depends on what the goalie does at the end. And like I said, every game has shot over the total. So hottest line, even though all these guys pretty much they try to even out the minutes. Obviously, the top line still gets the most minutes on average. That means you'll be looking at the Beniers, Kako line, and Schwartz, but they'll be looking at Quinn Hughes most of the time. So maybe that's an out, possibly. But still, even though there are options there, Beniers and Schwartz, I mean, there's just great opportunity. I mean, you can make money just taking these guys singularly. But where is he? Is Schwartz here? Beniers and Schwartz. Like, all these guys are plus money. That's why this game is so interesting. And the Seattle props are definitely interesting as well. Beniers and Schwartz is plus 260. If you put Kako on that whole line, then that's plus 481. All the Seattle point props are positive money. So any combination you go to, if you go to line 2 with Chandler Stevenson, and he should be here. There he goes, right next to him, Jordan Eberle. Jordan Eberle is to the right of Chandler Stevenson. And their power play correlated. Plus 280, plus 284. I don't think we have the guy to the left. I don't think they have Nyman. Yes, they do have Nyman. So the whole second line, Chandler Stevenson, and then there goes Eberle. If you put them together, that's plus 521. Lots of options, obviously different combinations that I'll be interested in. Just waiting for goalie confirmation, but to be honest, the Vancouver combo should be set to go. Just waiting for goalie combination, and just in case, like I said, Vancouver did skate with extra. They just didn't have their regular 12 guys. There were guys coming off injury that skated. So people like Nils Hoglander can jump back into the lineup. I don't think Elias Pettersson will be jumping back in the lineup, but just watch out for that Nils Hoglander. I was comfortable taking a couple of single guys and single props, and then I was able to do some shots on goals for the later game. I'm waiting to see what happens later. Like I said, Nils literally fills into any spot. I rarely ever see Nils on the line too. It's like they either have Nils at the bottom or he helps out up top. So just wait on that. Other than that, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, kind of a slow day, but you're able to find some stuff here. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Florida-Toronto game. NHL-wise and prop-wise, like I said, points to be had there. Should be an interesting game in Toronto. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is Grade A Fantasy with another episode of Grade A Power Plays. Thank you for tuning in. I'm signing off.